Hey Puzzle Buddies! Welcome back to part 2 of this scar puzzle. First off, I want to say thank you so much for all of the congratulations in the comments of my last video. And also thank you to those who left comments telling me, not to be quite so hard on myself with my current state and my ability to make content. So I appreciate that as well. Also, we hit 300 subscribers. That is crazy. Thank you guys so much. I kind of got more into the nitty-gritty of this puzzle in my last video, so in part 1 of this puzzle being put together. So if you haven't seen that one, go back so you can see kind of all of the backstory and how we got here in the first place. But I will also say, I feel like my lighting in this video is really off, and I tried to kind of tweak it when I was editing, but it's still kind of there's a glare in some parts, and then just kind of weird in some parts, so I apologize for that. I usually rely on the natural sunlight coming in through the window that's behind me when I film. However, the seasons are changing, and so the sun isn't quite, in the same spot anymore. I didn't really take that into account when I was setting up, so I was trying to tinker with it as I was filming, but it still didn't quite come out right. So I'm gonna keep trying to mess around with that and see if I can figure out a better, more consistent lighting situation. In part 1 of this video, we built the border of this puzzle, we built pretty much all of the frames, and just a little bit of some of the inside pictures. So in this one, we are finishing it all up. We're filling in the insides of all those picture frames and doing that giant picture of Scar, as well as that stand and his arm that hangs out from the corner. I don't have too much to say about this one. It's a Ravensburger, good quality. We kind of come to expect that from them. You saw how much puzzle dust there was in the first part of this puzzle. Pieces are nice, feel nice. The only thing is I feel like they're a little bit glossy. I'm not sure if it's the lighting or if the pieces are slightly more glossy on this puzzle or what, but that's kind of the only real issue with quality that I had. And also, overall, we know by now that I'm having a much better experience with this puzzle than I ever did with that first Disney Villainous Yzma puzzle that I did, so that's been really good. However, in hindsight, especially now that I've completed both of them, I honestly feel like I enjoyed the Yzma puzzle more than this one, and let me tell you why. Now, even though that puzzle had its own issues, I feel like the pictures that they chose to represent the movie were much more iconic, memorable scenes. There were very few images that were just headshots of the characters. Most of it was I could look at it and say, okay, that is from that scene where Yzma and Kronk are about to head into the lab and start formulating whatever they're going to try to do to Emperor Cusco. I could look at this one and say, okay, I know exactly what part of the movie that's from, etc., etc. And so I feel like it was pretty satisfying at the end, and even while I was working on it, even though it was frustrating to kind of see all those images and be reminded of those scenes and having those funny memories attached to those. However, with this Scar puzzle, I feel like it's much more just kind of headshots of the characters and less moments from the movie. The only image within this puzzle that I can look at and really be okay, this is from that scene, I know exactly what they're talking about, yada yada, is the picture off towards the right side, kind of in the middle. There is a pretty small picture of that scene where Simba, Timon, and Pumbaa are walking across that bridge or that fallen tree, and they're singing Hakuna Matata. That's really the only image in this puzzle that's a scene from the movie versus just an image from the movie. So while yes, this one was much easier to put together, I just feel like it wasn't as satisfying or fun. But as you've seen up until this point, I mostly started off with trying to work on the inner pictures within all of the frames, and then once I kind of got stuck there, I started working on that larger frame that surrounds that big picture of Scar, and then I kind of started working on those more orangey pieces where his stand is, and then we just kind of go from there, and I end up piecing the rest of it together just one bit at a time. And since I don't have a whole lot more to say about this puzzle, I figured we could spend the rest of this time talking Disney villains. In my last video, along with everything else that was going on, I told you guys how Yzma is my favorite villain, Scar is my fourth favorite Disney villain, and then I asked if you guys could try to figure out who my number 2 and number 3 favorite villains are. And there were some interesting guesses. I saw a few of Hades, I saw Cruella de Vil, the Queen of Hearts, and there was a few others. But overall, there were very few. In fact, I think only one person guessed one of my number 2 and number 3. Everything, I was so shocked. I was like, how could y'all not guess these other 2 people? All right, so Scar is number 4 for me. I just think he's so funny. He's very like calm, chill, but I'm also going to kill you if I have the chance. So Scar's number 4 for me. Number 3 for me is Dr. Facilier. I'm pretty sure only one person guessed him. I think Dr. Facilier is very smooth, very funny, kind of dorky and like not good at things, but still really, really funny. Like the way that he talks to Prince Naveen's like handler, especially during the song, he's like, listen, I don't even want to talk to you. I really don't want to spend much time on you. It's just funny. I just love Dr. Facilier. And then number 2, and honestly, she almost could be number 1, but I think that Yzma has such a strong place in my heart because I love The Emperor's New Groove so much. It's been my favorite movie since I was like 4 years old or whenever that movie came out. But number 2 for me is Mother Gothel. Okay, I mean, honestly, she technically, like, in the span of her life, she didn't even really start off as a villain, right? Like, she had this flower, this magical flower. She was using it all on her own, trying to keep herself young, and then somebody stole it. Like, is this even really her fault? And then she goes, she finds the girl that now, you know, holds the power of the flower. Talking about Rapunzel here, the movie Tangled. She finds the flower within the girl, and honestly, all she wanted was a lock of the girl's hair. She wasn't even trying to kidnap nobody to begin with. But then, yes, ultimately she did kidnap a child, hold her hostage for 18 years, and then tell her all the time that she's getting chubby and she's kind of stupid. So yeah, she is not exactly the best person, but I kind of love her. And something that my numbers 2, 3, and 4 all have in common is that their songs are amazing. They have the best Disney villain songs like ever. You can't tell me otherwise. And that's kind of how I know that Yzma being my number 1 has to be pretty strongly based in like nostalgia and just how much I love the movie overall. Because Emperor's New Groove is one of those movies, I don't even know how you categorize the Disney movies, like the animated films, because it is like a typical animated, there's a character, there's a villain, bad guy loses, that sort of a thing. However, it's not like a musical like how the other Disney movies are. But yeah, those are my top 4. Number 1 is Yzma from Emperor's New Groove. 2 is Mother Gothel from Tangled. 3 is Dr. Facilier from Princess and the Frog. And number 4 is Scar from The Lion King. And now I kind of want to give just like my rapid fire thoughts about some of the other Disney villains. Mind you, I've done like no research prior to this, so some of y'all are going to hate me because like I'm looking through the list and I do not recall some of these characters. Basically, all that I did was I went to the Ravensburger site, I searched for the Villainous Disney puzzles, and I'm just looking through a list of whatever Ravensburger in North America has on the website for these puzzles. That's what we're going based off of. First off is the Horned King. I know a few of you guys have referenced this puzzle to me in previous videos. I can't even lie to you, I have no clue who this is or what movie this is from. Next up is Cruella de Vil. Now, mind you, one of my favorites did kidnap a child. However, this woman was trying to skin dogs, and I just can't get behind it. Then we have Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. And Beauty and the Beast is one of my mom's favorite movies, so we watched it a lot when I was growing up. Gaston, he's just a jerk, and he's annoying. I don't know. I don't have much feeling towards Ursula because growing up, I very, very rarely watched The Little Mermaid. I did used to watch the show, but I never particularly cared for the movies, so I don't really have much of a connection to her. Sleeping Beauty is another movie that I didn't watch a whole lot of, so no strong opinions against Maleficent. But also, whenever I see her character, I kind of mostly just think about how she was kind of portrayed in the Enchanted movie, so that's really all I got. I know a lot of you guys have strong feelings about Hades, and don't get me wrong, I think he's funny. I do really like Hades, but he's just not top 3, top 4 for me. The evil queen from Snow White, who apparently has no other name, I'm kind of scared of her. She was out here tricking people, poisoning people, putting them in comas. I don't know, that lady is a little bit crazy. Okay, I'm running low on time in this video, and there are quite a few more Disney villains, even just within the Disney Villainous puzzles that I could talk about, so let me know if you want to hear the rest of my thoughts. Also, doing this is making me really think about a lot of these movies' soundtracks, and now I kind of want to rank the Disney soundtracks, because there I truly have some opinions. So let me know if y'all care about either or both of these videos. Alright, we finished the puzzle, and now that I'm showing you a close-up, hopefully now you can see a bit more of the images and what I meant when I was talking about how it's not really a lot of scenes in this puzzle, it's mostly just like stills, headshots of characters. But like I said, overall this puzzle was perfectly fine. And then once I finished up the Yzma puzzle, I had showed you guys how many of the pieces looked like they could kind of go anywhere within the image. So this time I wanted to show you guys the difference with the scar puzzle. So I picked out a few of these green pieces because there were quite a few images within the puzzle that were very like green toned. And sure, there definitely are a few pieces that kind of look like they could go one place or the other. But overall, there's enough difference within even just all the green pieces that you can kind of tell that this piece definitely does not belong over here. So again, not as bad as the Yzma puzzle. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know how you feel about my top 4 villains. Let me know how you feel about the comments I made about some of the other villains. And then also let me know how you feel about those topics for some other videos. Me talking more about some of the other villains, and then also ranking the Disney soundtracks. Let me know what you're thinking, and I'll see you in the next video.